Am I doing it? Yeah, I am.
It's like a test run.
You mean as in like, do you mean professionally?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you want? Are you doing it for fun, or are you trying to like make it like something serious?
It's a little bit of yes and no.
Just see where it goes.
You know, I like podcasts and
Are we starting?
what?
What's up? Are you recording?
What? Yeah.
Okay. No, I didn't know if you just wanted to. Let's go. Cool.
Do you like using headphones?
Do I?
You got a big head though.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Do they fit fine?
Yeah, they fit all right.
All right. No, I find it helps like for people to gauge how close they should be to the mic and whatever.
I think I could just hear you a little bit more clearly. There we
Right.
go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the reason I'm starting this, I want to do a podcast is just more or less. Well, I like podcasts. My favorites are like What the Fuck with Mark Maron or The Nerdist, which is now branded as ID10T with Chris Hardwick, and it's as people can read in the description of the podcast. I'm doing this. I'm trying to have conversations with people so that to feed my curiosity, to connect with them, and also to get out of the house. Although not in this case because we're in my house.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, like,
Hold on, I'm just going to turn off my phone.
I think I need to too because I just got a phone call. Okay. Okay, so I mean, like, are those podcasts the reason you tried to do this?
Yes.
Or like, okay.
Yeah, because I'm doing this in the spirit of those because they're essentially the host or hosts just having conversations with people that end up skewing it just a little tiny bit towards an interview. You know? In the end, I want these to be more conversations than interviews.
So, any reason why you decided to do a podcast over like a video sit down or something like that?
I mean, not including a video component?
I guess like you could have it like, yeah, I mean, you could include a video component or like, I just don't know if you, like, did you want like you to be part of the context or do you want it to be about the person you're talking to? You know
Well, I want it to be equal parts. Well, they are conversations. It takes two to have a conversation, at least two. And so I want it to be equal parts me talking to someone and them talking to me. You know? Yeah. Because when you think about like a real formal like interview, part of like a press junket, like for famous actors in a movie, it's like the interviewer asks questions, the interviewee answers, and that's about it. You're only ever getting to know about the interviewee and maybe some like jokes the interviewer might pepper in throughout. But in the end, they're not exactly offering much to the conversation, if you could call that a conversation.
No, I agree. I hear you. I mean, I've done a few interviews, but it's like, yeah, interviews definitely have like a restricted pathway to how the conversation goes.
Especially, that's why I didn't, I tried to, my favorite moments on like WTF or The Nerdist are when the host, either Mark Maron or Chris Hardwick, kind of just like, you can't really tell when they'll probably talk to the guest for a bit before they like get into the room and start recording. And he doesn't really announce that they start recording. And so it's like, you can't really tell where their conversation ends and the recording starts. And that's why I tried not to make so much of a show about hitting record when we sat down.
No, I get it. I think I'm just because I do video stuff, like I just knew.
Yeah.
That thing's recording.
Because, half the time the guests on those podcasts will be like, are we on?
Yeah.
Like, they're 15 minutes in. It's like, wait, did we start? Are we on right now? And, because it feels so casual and not exactly official and formal, like an actual interview, people tend to be more relaxed and forthcoming.
That's why I like podcasts, because I know I talked about like, oh, why aren't you using a camera? But once you bring a camera into the mix, people become way more unnatural. Yeah,
because like, they always want to like, they know they're not supposed to look at the camera, but it's like, there's this huge thing in front of my face. It's hard not to look at it.
No, I know.
Also, I would hate editing a video. component.
No, I was going to ask you actually, like, even in those, I don't know too much about podcasts. Like, I listen to them, but I don't know like how they're structured and how people like produce them. But like, how much editing do people do of the original content? Like, how much do you plan on doing?
I've produced a few episodes so far, or at least not particularly episodes, but a few recordings. Like, I've had a couple of practice runs, and actually, I podcasted Phoebe just the other day, yesterday. And when I am quote unquote editing the podcast, it's the conversation we're having, I'm going to leave it largely unedited. I'm not really going to touch it all that much. I will like produce the clip, like, reduce noise, whatever. But aside from that, I'm just going to like trim the ends, like the beginning of the clip and the end of the clip, just so they line up with like the transitions I'm putting in.
Right. That's cool. Yeah, I don't know. So here we are.
Yes, here we are. So what's been going on with you? I haven't seen you in quite a bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I don't think the last time I saw you was, what class was that? Graphic design?
We were in a web design class.
Design, yeah.
Or I guess that particular course was called Interactive Media.
So that was the last
at
time
Northwestern Connecticut Community College.
Shout out. Sponsor.
Yes. I hope it gets sponsors.
Yeah, that was the last time I saw you. And then I actually like kept going back there to do like accounting classes because I freelance. And so I was just trying to get some business classes and taking like a few creative classes like graphic design and interactive media, or that web design class, to just like round out my skill set. I ended up like leaving just because I got really busy with freelance. So it's pretty much all the same. Like, since I was back with school with you, it's just like freelancing between like Connecticut and Boston for video.
Right. Okay.
That's pretty much what I'm doing.
Oh, so that's why you texted me like just got back in Connecticut. I'm like, did you go to Boston again for like? Do you just go up there like every weekend or something?
I spend about like 35 to 40% of my month in Boston. Only like when I go up there, I plan it. Like, I try to do a job and get paid while also hanging out with my friends.
Oh, right. Okay.
Most of my friends are up there, so I don't have to pay rent up there, which is stupid expensive. So I'm just like
crashing on couches.
Yeah. So my old apartment, my futon's actually in the basement still. No one goes down there, and I'll just go there and crash for a bit. But like, all my friends are super chill. So
okay.
Yeah, going with the flow.
So you're a videographer, photographer, digital media producer. No.
Yes.
You can say that.
Yes.
Now, when exactly did you start doing that?
This started like, I guess like, this is actually in the early days. So a lot of people, they'll say the inspiration was like this movie director here or there, or something like a past cinematic film that was like really well known. Mine was actually YouTube, when like back in the early days of YouTube, when everyone was making like funny skits, like the early days of Smosh, and like when YouTube was still like a little infant. So I wanted to be one of those guys making videos that started to trend. Like, trending videos wasn't even really like a term. Like, it wasn't even a thing at the time.
No, I don't think like maybe the term viral had just been born.
So I wanted to, I had a good group of friends. Like, I was in like 8th grade high school, and I wanted to make some of those videos. So I used a webcam, and it just kept going from there. And then I just saw how much I liked making videos, working with friends, acting and stuff like that. And then in high school, I took a few video classes, and then it wasn't until my senior year that I decided I wanted to really commit, and I went to go to film school. But then like, and then that became a whole new phase of like reality check and stuff like that. So, the YouTube thing was like behind me now, and I wanted to actually do like actual content that made money. But now it's crazy because now the YouTube thing's coming back because everybody's trying to be a YouTuber now. So, yeah.
And you went to the Art Institute in Boston, right?
Yeah, I went to the New England Institute of Art.
Right.
It's a little weird because it's a for-profit school, and
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they closed down, man.
Wait, when?
They closed down like 2 years ago or something like that.
Oh, word.
But the whole Art Institute, like their whole chain is like getting was getting like screwed over. So and screwing students over and stuff like that.
Right.
It was definitely not the best school to go to, but I had a good experience personally. But I know like a lot of other people like really.
Why'd you ultimately choose to go there?
The thing is, like, I felt like I could have gone down any path after high school, and you know, I just wanted to do something. I really didn't know much about art schools, and I didn't really have a good portfolio at the time because I didn't really make much that was like, you know, like college entry worthy. It was just like funny little things I made in high school. So I applied to a few art schools, and the phone interview I had with them was just like really nice. So out of everyone I had, like my admissions, the lady who helped me sign up to go to the school was just really nice. We're actually super close now. So like she was just so good that she convinced me to go there. Oh, okay. It really had nothing to do with like what the school offered or anything like that. It was just that personal connection I had with her was just really strong. So, okay. But I mean, obviously I toured the school, had a good time. Like the campus was cool. The equipment was cool. So,
and from what I recall, you weren't there for a whole lot of years, no?
Actually, so, you know, school's expensive, and like I took out a few loans, but me and my parents were trying to pay it out of pocket, and it was just like too much. So I left ultimately because of financial reasons, but I had only like a semester left. I could have just finished, but I was freelancing, and like I didn't feel the need to go to class.
And the program there was like a full 4 years?
Yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah, it was all right, it was almost expedited, but not really. It would take about like 3 years, 3.5 years.
Okay.
They didn't really encourage you to skip summer, so it'd be done sooner. But obviously people did. And we went from a quarter system to a something really odd. I forgot. It was like
a trimester?
It was the most unusual thing it might have been. I just remember it was so weird. It like screwed up the whole schedule. I've never even heard of it in my
monthly.
Yeah, I was super close. So in the end, I don't have a degree. I went to school with you. I went to school in Boston, and I left. I went to school with you, and I left. Like I have experience and knowledge and nothing to prove.
Wait, you don't? I thought you were getting like a marketing certificate.
I was getting, I was going to get like 3 certificates and a degree, and then I stopped. I left because I just didn't want to spend the money. Like I was like, oh, man, whatever. And honestly, in this field, like the degree is the last thing that people look at. They look at your portfolio and, you know, your connections.
Right. How many classes were you taking at Northwestern?
I think I was only averaging about like 3 classes. I don't think I was considered full time. Is 4 classes full time? 5?
12 credits.
So
if if a regular class is 3 credits, 4 classes.
Yeah. So I think there was like 2 semesters I was full time, but most of the time I was like 3 or 4. So I was also working at a marketing job while I was in school with you.
Right. Okay.
Just testing out. I'm the worst employee because I don't stay committed to jobs. So
hear that, businesses?
Yeah. No, I say that proudly. It usually has something to do with like business culture at the place. Like I've worked at a few places where the culture is like hip and up to date, and that makes me feel, I'm like, yeah, this is a good place.
Right. Okay.
But like a lot of these places I worked at are just too old school, and you know, the employees are older. Like there's just not much youth in the area. Like it just really like ruins the vibe of the workplace, you know?
Yeah. Well, when we were going to school together at Northwestern, I was there to earn a degree in digital media, fine arts digital media, which in the end is essentially what you do. It's like photography, videography, kind of graphic design stuff. But of course, the reason I went there is because so I could take classes where I would make stuff to have as part of a portfolio. But in your case, you'd already been doing it, and you already had stuff to show for your effort.
I had stuff to show for my effort when I was attending Northwestern with you. Is that what you're saying?
Because you were already working as like a videographer, photographer, graphic design kind of guy.
Yeah. So like I've already been through those early years of schooling and like creative work. So like I saw you guys and I just knew like, oh, I've been there. Yeah. I had a whole portfolio. Like I was already set up and ready to go. I already knew like the language and the programs and stuff. I just did it because I wanted to get like paper proof.
Right. And then you didn't.
And then I was like, no, I'm okay. I enjoyed it. Listen, I love school. And a lot of people say like, oh, you don't need school, especially for like creative jobs. And like, I agree, but there's something about having like a teacher being able and classmates critiquing you and not knowing you're not losing a client over it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's something about a teacher giving you an assignment and you get to be creative and just work on something. Like there's something about schools and that type of atmosphere that is, I don't know. You just won't get that on your own, you know?
Yeah.
So I enjoyed being at Northwestern because it was cool, man. Like,
we had fun.
It felt good to just work on assignments again and not worry about like the payout from a client. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just do it, have fun with it, be creative with it. Yeah.
For me, it wasn't quite that fun for me because like my end goal was to transfer to another school, even though I was earning a degree there, and you know I had a GPA to riding on it, you know, and now and in the same way I like school, I like taking classes, but then I think we have different our worries are in different places. Like I'm worried about class, the grade, I need it to like stay in school. But in your case, it's more if you didn't feel the pressure, the professional pressures of doing stuff and for other people.
No, yeah, I definitely didn't. I wasn't trying to show off to anyone. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's always like a little competitive attitude between people. So I didn't feel like the need to show. I just enjoyed, like, I was just there. I was just riding the waves. Like, I was just socializing,
right,
seeing other people's stuff, learning some new stuff. But like, you said I have totally different worries. Like, I had like what's going on outside of school. That was my priority. And I know like a lot of my teachers kind of knew where I stood. So like they knew like my laxed approach to things was going to be fine. You know, like I didn't need this as much as like, you know, someone like you or anyone else that was just like that was their first experience doing stuff like that in a classroom setting.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I agree. No, we were definitely in two different mental planes. Yeah. But I feel like you didn't enjoy some of the stuff.
Huh?
Like some of the stuff we did, I feel like you didn't enjoy, or like, I don't know if it was just like
which bits.
I'm trying to think, but I always remember there's just some stuff and you'd be like,
well, oh yeah. Like I'm not an artist really. I don't work in traditional media such as, drawing or painting but I also am not a designer. I don't fare well in graphic design or web design. I'm more about video, which it makes more sense to me to do.
Okay. No, so yeah, I guess you know, did you finish school or no?
I got my degree from Northwestern.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
But now I'm still in school at another school. I'm at the University of Hartford, where I'm double majoring in film and English.
Okay, good. So you are still doing it.
Yeah.
When you texted me, you said not much is going on in my life. I was like, oh my God.
Well, I mean, it's summer.
I know, but I was like, dude, did you drop out of school and like give up on your...
No, Jimmy, I'm just on the side of the road with a Zoom H4 and a couple of mics asking, will you do a podcast with me?
So
can you spare some words for me?
Not money. Just give me a sentence, man.
Just have a conversation with me for 5 minutes.
Okay, so how do you like being at an actual school with an actual program, like a proper film program,
a big proper university? Yeah. It's fun. It's cool to see like an actual department for film where you have the entire staff is literally people with doctorates in film, and it's cool to have a bunch of other people in the class who the reason they're there is because they're film majors, and we can like just talk about films and shit. And
just because I've been through film school, and I know like all film school is similar. Like we all deal with the same shit. I know that. Like everyone, like Boston's got so many schools, and we've got a few well-known like film programs, and I'll meet all these kids, and we can all just relate because it can be janky as hell sometimes. But I mean, I don't know how big
what does that mean?
I don't know, man. Like equipment they have, and like having to rent it out, and like working in groups with certain students and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So we've all been there.
I just had my first film production course in this past spring, and I got to tell you, I wouldn't want to work with most of them.
Okay, so here's the reality about
that sounds bad because filmmaking is a collaborative medium.
Right.
You have to work with other people. There are so many jobs, moving parts in a production that you should be able to work with other people.
Well, when you're on an actual set and like things matter, like money and stuff like that, and people's times, you're working around a group of people who have a passion for what they're doing.
Right.
You know, school can just be a little like, it's school, man. So, yeah. And it's like sometimes you're doing roles that you don't want to be doing when you're in a group project in school. So that can affect certain things. But, so I guess what is your ultimate goal? Like, what do you want to do like after school?
Be a filmmaker.
What does that mean? Like, what do you mean?
Be a filmmaker. To write and direct films.
Okay. This is where like the reality check came for me. I remember I said like I went to high school and had these visions of being a YouTuber or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then went to college, and then the reality of filmmaking came in. So since I also do a lot of photography, it's like I knew a lot of photography students who also kind of deal with the same struggles as video students. It's like you have this goal in mind that you want to be something, and I'm not saying you can't get it. But I
can't get it.
No, anyone can get it, honestly. But there's like you go for video. I thought I was gonna be like some director, and then I learned quickly like it's like you need connections. It's like you need to really hustle for that kind of thing.
You do, yeah.
And so like I'm in a good spot. I freelance and I make like different content that I'm happy with. And this is what I'm happy doing. Like, would I like to shoot a short film? I'd love to, like narrative work. But that doesn't pay, and like I don't have that opportunity right now. But what I'm doing, I'm happy with. But some people I went to school with went for video, and you know nothing opened up for them, and now they're doing like AV work, so working doing audio, visual tech, like a hotel or something, which pays all right. But it's like nothing like what you thought filmmaking or video class would be. So, but the thing is, like, there's so many doors. Like video is so like there's so many like different places you can go with it. You know. It's not just like making movies or making a commercial. Like there's so much other stuff too with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Actually, no, I don't.
Yeah, and that's okay. And I know. I didn't know that either until after I graduated. Just like I said.
Graduated from where?
When I did not graduate. I almost graduated. When I graduated my dreams. Yeah, no. You'll see, I don't know. Like how many years left do you have?
Well, that's a complicated answer. 3. But but the reason behind that is so most people who are smart go to community college and take care of their general education requirements. Right? I didn't. You know, I earned a specific degree at the community college in digital media, which was an arts program. And I literally had no idea where I was going to go next. I was just like, I'll apply to film schools and places that have film programs and stuff, and I'll see what happens. And, you know, the things fell into place for the University of Hartford because I was like, close-ish to home, have a film program. They're throwing money at me. This seems like the best choice. And I was initially accepted there as a film major. And if I had stayed that, I'd be in and out like 2.5 years or something like that. But then I decided to add another major in English. Because I thought a degree in film is not doing me many favors. And the only other thing I would tolerate studying is English. But of course, a degree in English is also not doing me many favors. And I saw they had their own program where you get certified to teach high school as you earn your English degree. And so I was like, oh, I guess I'll do that too. And so I'm like triple majoring. And then I added a minor.
Are you happy?
No.
It's a lot, man.
Yeah, it is.
I thought you were going to say, like, oh, I majored in English to help me with writing. like and stuff. And I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even remember what I learned in English.
That's
class
part. That's part of it.
Yeah.
I like the idea of reading and writing, and it's to help me. I guess I'm an okay writer, like mechanically speaking, but like analyzing literature, learning how storytelling works.
Is it strong or not strong?
What, me?
Yeah.
In terms of writing?
Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
I would say I can string together sentences, but I don't have anything to say.
Okay.
Like, I can put together a paragraph that is structurally sound. I know how to put sentences together, I have a good vocabulary, but I rarely have anything to say, if you know what I mean.
That's why it's good to be in school, because when you get an assignment, you can write something around whatever the objective for that thing is.
Right.
I don't know if you've done that yet, but as I said, I miss school. Like, people think like, oh, I can think of an idea. It's like, dude, thinking of something is like, and making sure it's kind of like original and true to you and like is like actually entertaining is so hard. Especially when you're just writing and you're not even having actors play it out yet. Like, that's a whole nother phase. But yeah, no, I hear you.
Did you ever venture into writing, like screenwriting?
Like for school, we had to. Like, we had to take a writing, like a film writing class, and do all the proper format for writing and make our own story. So like our senior project was to make a short film. And like I went too ambitious, and I made mine like 103 pages. And dude, this is only like one.
That's not a short. That's a feature.
Dude, it was nuts. And, and my teacher was like, "This is too long." I'm like, "No. I'm gonna finish this." And I was like, "This is too long." And I cut it down to 30 pages. And I still, between writing and then production of trying to find actors and getting people for crew and finding locations and then scheduling all that, like I got like, of that actual like 30 pages, I got filmed maybe like 8 pages. It was rough, man. Like the reality kicked in real quick. Then there's ways I can optimize it now.
Right.
Now that I know that I did. That's why just doing something is so good, because you always learn. But yeah. In the production course I took in the spring, we had to do we had to learn all aspects of filmmaking. So learn how to edit, work a camera, write a screenplay, and for the final is a short, right? And I wrote one that was like 5-ish pages long. And do you want to hear what it? Go for it.
The idea was it's titled On Writing, and the premise is there's a guy who's trying to write a screenplay.
I feel like I've heard this.
He's trying to write a screenplay, but he keeps getting distracted. Like, I should brush my teeth. No, I should get a drink. I haven't eaten anything yet. And then, sooner or later, he's just like, oh man, do I have any ideas? No. Like, slams his head on the desk. But then, after a beat, he looks up. He starts writing the beginning of his script, which mirrors the beginning of this short film. And then the end bit is same guy walks up to the desk, opens his computer. All right, where are we going to write? Off camera, someone yells cut, and it's another him directing him in this film about him trying to write something.
It's cool. I like that. I was following that visually in my head the whole way through.
And so the reason I wrote that is because I didn't have any ideas. I thought, well, the easiest way is to go meta, because that's the easiest way to go high concept without actually going high concept. And also, I think that's hilarious.
That only works for so long. And I'm telling you this as a fellow student. You can only go meta for so long about thinking about writing or writing, So at some point, you got to buckle down and really try to think. What I'll say is, your fellow classmates, everyone makes their own project, right? Writes their own thing.
Yes.
Okay. Did you saw everyone's stuff?
Yes.
Okay. Whether they're good or bad or not, like honestly, and I wish I did this more when I was in school, was like really looking at what people are trying to say and how they're trying to tell a story. Because obviously everyone's going to tell a story differently. And some people might not be good at it, but they might have a good idea.
Oh, most of them were not good.
Yeah. And that always happens. My writing's a bitch, dude. It's so hard and it's tough. And then trying to honestly put it on screen is even harder.
Yeah. And actually, let me tell you about the production of this.
Okay.
So most of the kids in that class were just, I don't know how else to put it. They're just dweebs. And, I mean, there were a select few that I saw they're in this because they like films and they're going to make cool shit. But I knew that I honestly don't want to work with many of these people. And so when I decided on a week, just one weekend, to produce it myself, be a cast and crew of one, so writing, producing, directing, acting, editing, just cinematographing, and it took, it only took a day. It's not, there's one set and it's not that long. It's like under 5 minutes worth of movie. But I'm telling you, it was tiring, especially because I can't do any fancy camera movements if I'm also in frame, because I'm literally the only one there.
I'm telling you, my wisdom from being in school. Every film student's been in this boat. They don't want to use certain people, or they don't even have certain people to help them. So they try to self-shoot it, self-edit, self-act. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it only works for so long before you see that you really you need a group of, even if it's just like random friends.
Yeah.
Like you need people helping you, because you cannot make an effective, you can't tell the story effectively by just yourself. For some stuff, sure. Like this one seems like it kind of makes sense that you self-shoot everything.
Yeah.
With this idea. But.
Especially since I'm the only actor, and I'm technically portraying two parts. It feeds into the commentary. It's like it's me fighting myself to get this thing made.
Yeah. No, I get it. But again, you can't reuse that idea.
No.
You know what I mean? So that's where it gets tough, man. It's like not having the right team. But I'm telling you, as school goes on, people will start finding what they like to do more, or what they're better at. And I think just making sure that you're in the right position, that people are going to want to work with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? That maybe you got great ideas and stuff like that people just want to be part of that. Because not everyone in film school, whether they want to know it or not, maybe they want to be a director, they won't all be directors. Maybe none of them will be. The directors that they picture themselves being, they might go down a different route. And that's just the reality of video production. It's an oversaturated, there's not much openings for directors, right? You have to really separate yourself from everyone else. So just making sure you're in the right position to make people want to work with you in projects. And that means helping them out on their shitty ideas.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I don't know if you help people make their own projects. Or...
I would have, I guess, because so for a few projects in the semester before the final, I had written music. I had also written music for the stuff I worked on, which included a project where I worked with a partner. And I would have totally offered to write music for someone's thing if I wasn't so busy.
That makes sense. So, minus the fact that you obviously have other stuff to do. This is me giving you my wisdom from school. And I don't know what your school's like, or the kids or whatever. And your guys are still kind of early, but I know I always helped out on people's projects. Right. No matter how shitty the idea was. Because it's just always good to be on some type of set, whether it's janky or super well structured. Because I'm telling you, every time you go and you film something, you learn something new. Something always comes about. Even professionally now, I'll do a gig and I'll just be oh my God, I should have did this. You always learn something new. And if you learn from their mistakes about something, that helps you out in the end too. Right. You should offer your services to them.
Yeah. I suppose. And in the future, I probably will have to.
Yeah, was this a solo thing? The assignment was just The teacher's like, everyone just do your thing.
Yeah, everyone had to write and direct their own project, but of course that doesn't restrict. Say, it just means everyone had to have their own thing to turn in. It doesn't mean everyone couldn't like work on each other's projects. You know,
when the new year starts, you should be really active with people, and just like offering to help, even if they say no, like whatever. You know what I mean? For any project that comes up.
Maybe if I'm not so busy.
I know, but I'm telling you, man, I get you're busy, but like, you got to like make time for like this.
Especially since, I mean, I might, but you know, I'm overloading on credits and stuff just to make sure I can graduate on time. Not only that, but I'm starting this podcast, and you know, I plan this is going to be ongoing from the time I launch it to, you know, however long I'm going to be in school. I want it to be an ongoing thing, which means I have to keep finding people to come on the show, you know, and which is going to take up some of my time.
You're in the typical college student dilemma, man. We get our minds everywhere. I don't know. You just got to start focusing on just like a handful of things that you know you want to commit to. And I think I don't think film school is enough on its own. Like you need to like really flesh out what. Like utilizing everything that the schools offers, and that means like teachers, students.
That's why my curriculum is spread over 4 departments.
But that could be a little too much, you know. Like yeah, it's all good. It's all good, man. You test it out for a year or two, you'll figure it out, you know. So this isn't a life lesson talk. I just been there, you know. So like I know it's like, yeah.
Well, if we could switch gears for a little bit. Now, based on the episode title, we know your name is Jimmy. Jimmy G.
Right.
That is, however, not your given name.
That is not.
What is your given name?
So, I have the weirdest, like, background. My mom is South Korean. My dad is Pakistan. So, they never married.
Your father is the country of Pakistan?
He is Pakistan. Yeah, I was going to see if you picked that up. I used to always say that, and then people would be like, you forgot the I. At the end of it. So they never married, so I kept my like legal name is Korean. So it's if you were to read it in English, most people would say like Song One G. So SONG first name, ONE middle name, JI last name. But you would say it's Sungwon. But you know, people don't say that, so that's all right. But
someone G
song, so it's like kind of long O's. Yeah. But then Jimmy was a nickname, and like I think every Asian kid a lot of times has a nickname.
I only go by one name. That's my given name.
Yeah, you got lucky. Like you know, but you know, so my friend's name is Danny. Like it's super American, but like I didn't get an American name. But most Asian kids that have a non-American name. Even though Benson's not really American either.
No, it's of Hebrew origin.
But like,
I think what happened was just my father was like, "My name is Ben. He is my son. Ben, son, Benson."
There, that works.
Which is weird because I'm the second born. But
I mean, your brother's name is American.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like straight out of.
Yeah.
Anyways, Jimmy was my nickname. My brothers gave it to me. Jimmy G flowed, and it stuck forever, and like I've used it ever since, and I enjoy it. And I like having a legal name and this nickname. You know, it's a conversation starter.
It's your stage name for your personal life.
Yeah, pretty much, man. I'll go to a bar and like someone will look at my ID and be like, "Oh my god, your name's not Jimmy," and it's a conversation starter. And we just go on, you know. So it's cool. And
listen here, James G.
Yeah, people call me James. I was like, no, man, we can't have 3 nicknames.
And what was it like growing up in a Korean Pakistani household?
Since I'm the last kid, so my mom, I'm the only kid from my dad and mom. My mom had married someone previously, so my siblings are all full blood Koreans, but they're way older than me.
How much older?
Older. So like I think like my oldest brothers are twins, and they're like 40 something now. So
really?
There's like a 20-year difference gap. So I didn't grow up with them, but like we're all super tight. So,
right. Okay.
So I grew up as like a single kid. I was super Americanized because you're the last kid in the family. Like your parents after that many kids, like my mom just didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like she's just like, whatever, do whatever you want. Like I was super spoiled in the sense of my siblings.
Right.
But like, dude, I wasn't exposed to a lot of things. Like my parents weren't into that. Like I didn't listen to music until like 7th grade. I'd never cared about music.
Right.
And that like is a huge like, I don't know, it's weird. Like when you're hanging out with other kids and like middle school and elementary school and like you can't really relate to them because like a lot of their interests they have, I didn't have until later on. But no, it was good. Like they didn't force their beliefs on me. Like my dad's Muslim. He never forced that on me. My mom's Buddhist. My grandma was Christian. So all three of them lived in the same house with me. No one forced their beliefs on me. Everyone was super like respectful, but it was a typical Asian household. Like I don't know how to explain that. I think anyone who's Asian kind of knows when I say that.
They're mostly checking to see if you're alive.
Yeah. They would it's just like,
otherwise it's like, as long as they're not like having cops bring them home.
Yeah, like I was never like bad or did anything wrong. I was a good kid, but it's definitely because my parents raised me that way. But I mean, we could talk about a whole another day about just like Asian household living. Though that's a whole separate thing. But no, it was good. It was a good mix, man. I feel very cultured and open minded because of my family and going to Torrington public schools and it being kind of diverse and like everything. So I'm actually really happy and blessed with. Growing up here and everything like that.
Yeah. What are your siblings doing now?
It's crazy. No one in my family graduated.
High school?
College.
Okay.
I think 2 of them didn't graduate high school. One owns a store, like convenience store, and like so it's her own business. That's my older sister, and then my brother's does like SEO, like search engine optimization, marketing type stuff. So he makes bank doing that. They used to all live in Florida, like all three of my brothers. I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters. One's adopted. I'm not really sure what she's doing. My oldest sister is the one that owns her own business. And then one of my brothers is the manager of a restaurant in Florida. And then the other one is, I don't know if I wouldn't call him a manager, but he's like a head honcho of a chain of restaurants in the South. So,
okay.
And then my other brother is doing like that marketing search engine stuff. So, they're all doing really well for themselves is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So I'm the oddball that kind of went down this route, but it's crazy because like I never really talked to them about like my story, like what's going on in my life. But occasionally I'll be like, this is happening. And they're like, oh, that's crazy because like they've gone to the same thing. Like they left school and I left school. I never knew that. Like hopped around jobs like I did. Like everything's so similar in all our background stories that it's kind of weird how much they mirror each other. So that's made me never worried about like my life and what I decide to do because I have this feeling that's going to work out in the same way it worked out for them.
Right. Okay. And so you became interested in digital video because of YouTube.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. That was.
What do you remember the first thing you saw on the internet?
I don't remember, man, but I can tell you it's like if I can just like think of some ideas now that like, the first thing I don't remember the first thing, but like the YouTube phase that got me into it was like the Numa Numa guy like singing, like Smosh was just a thing, like Chocolate Rain, like that whole like early stages. Those things are the ones that pop out to me. I don't remember the first thing I ever saw though.
And when did you like pick up a camera?
It was a webcam.
When did you pick up a camera and think like I'm gonna make stuff?
My parents had one of those like VHS tape home cams. I was using that a lot. And then they gave me like a point and shoot digital camera. And when I really honestly committed was when I was in it was freshman year of college because that's when I bought my first actual camera with the intention of making content, right? So I bought a Canon T3i DSLR during the summer after my freshman year, and like that's when I knew 100% like I'm going to learn this camera, I'm going to like figure this all out, and like that's what kickstarted me being a legitimate photographer and videographer and taking that seriously. Is when I bought that camera. But and THS like I was in the video production class and I took a few they had their like camcorders and stuff.
And you did And you entered college with the intention of actually being a filmmaker and not just a videographer, right?
Yeah, I just thought, honestly, I don't know. I just went there because I wanted to learn more about it. And I saw how over my head this whole thing was, like learning about like the language of being on set, all these different types of equipment. Like I just never thought about what it took to actually make a video, like movies and stuff like that. And then, so that was a great experience that I learned from doing that. But yeah, I didn't know what I was thinking to do. I was just like a young college student trying to like meet new people, leave my house, and just have fun with the camera. Have fun in Boston. But like I said, it was after that freshman year that when I learned like, okay, this is what I want to do. I really want to. I want to be the guy that's behind the camera, but you know what I mean, that does it all. Like behind the camera, while also directing. I wanted to do everything like that, but I didn't want to make like movies. I just wanted to make content. It could have been anything.
Well, even if you weren't fully set on making movies, do you think were there any movies that like really sparked that interest, that really spoke to you?
Dude, I can't. I honestly, like, I know it sounds so like weird that I would say this, but I don't know if there's any movies. Like, there's movies that touched me, but there's nothing that inspired me to make movies.
Yeah.
Everything that makes me want to make what I do is always been on YouTube.
Okay.
It's been people making these videos, and that you just watch it, they get viral or whatever. So it's online content that really got me into videography and not actual movies. But I respect movies and like I love them more now than I ever would have, just because I know the struggle that's gone to make a lot of this stuff. So even the worst movie I respect, because I know like people put time and effort to make this thing. And like they
Tommy Wiseau spent how much was it? Like it was $6 million of his own money.
But I still respect that movie. I respect that those people had to sit there and actually act this thing out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Like, I have a copy sitting over there.
No, dude. I respect that. I respect like anyone who makes anything, because I know it's a bitch, dude. It's tough. And
speaking of The Room, did you see The Disaster Artist?
I didn't see that yet because I wasn't like, I know people said they loved it, but I was a little skeptical about it.
I thought it was good because it is about the making of The Room, but it's not a straight up parody of it.
Right.
So James Franco directed it and starred as Tommy Wiseau, and he wanted to make sure it was a heartfelt kind of emotional story.
Did it feel authentic to
I think it was based on the book The Disaster Artist, written by Greg Sestero, who starred as what was his name?
His best friend.
Tommy Wiseau's best friend in the movie The Room, and he co-wrote it with a journalist named Tom Bissell. And based on what Greg says, it's rather accurate, I think. But they wanted. James Franco and his team wanted to make sure it wasn't just poking fun at the movie.
Right.
He wanted it to be almost like a love story between Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero as just a couple of guys in LA who just want to make a movie.
I respect that. I'm going to watch that now.
I have it over there.
So movies didn't inspire me to make this stuff. It was... Have you ever heard of Wong Fu Productions?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have.
They were, if I had to give inspiration, like they were huge inspirations for me while in college, especially because they were Asian and like making a huge name for themselves. And these three guys were just making quality content that was relatable and like entertaining. Like if I had to pick anyone early days, even though they're semi-early days, Wong Fu Productions was like huge. Like that's what I wanted to be, them, 100%. That's exactly what I wanted to be. That's the best way to describe it. Yeah. That makes sense, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. And Freddie Wong.
Yeah, Freddie Wong. Even like someone like Nigahiga who like did they were just entertaining. They felt like funny and like I don't know, like they just took control of that YouTube platform and used it to its best capabilities. So and now it's a little different now, but yeah. So back then, like if I could have done anything, it would have been like Wong Fu.
Wong Fu stuff.
Because I saw where they were going to go with it. They were just making videos. But now they got merch and like a fan base, and they work with really great people, and they could just create these quality short video like stuff, you know. So, yeah.
I like those guys.
I haven't watched any of their stuff recently, but yeah.
How much content do you consume as of late?
A lot. It's so different now than what I used to watch, right?
And what creators are you?
So I watch guys who stream certain games I play just because I like to see what kind of like things they do. A lot of it is certain type of bloggers like Casey Neistat, guys like that. They have like really like they have a presence, and then just a lot of reviews, tech reviews, because everything I buy so much shit that like I need to make sure that. And then anything that's viral that like just pops up. I mean, I'm on social media so much, so yeah, it's like to the point where I'll bring up something and like half the people know what I'm talking about and half the people won't. Just is so much stuff out now with so many people liking so many different things that it's not like, right, I think like one thing trended and everybody knew about it. Now it's like something could trend, but it only affects like a certain group of people.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
The first thing you listed was like people playing video games.
Yeah.
Is that because you're looking for their production value on their videos, or you're interested in the games they're playing?
I'm just like I'll see certain strategies they use and stuff because I'm a huge gamer and I don't think they'll ever let that part of my life go. Right. So I like watching those guys because they're just like godly, you know, and like they're funny, they're entertaining, and like they have good tips about stuff like that. I don't watch like crazy amounts, but like I do enjoy watching like the game, you know, people streaming their games and stuff like that.
What are you playing lately?
I've been playing a little bit of everything, but I'm playing a ton of Heroes of the Storm. I don't know if you know what that is.
No.
It died. I
should preface this with a disclaimer that I'm not much. I used to be huge into gaming when I was younger. I am not a gamer anymore.
So yeah, games like that. Just because it's very tactical, so I like watching streamers talk about their strategies and like stuff like that. It's any game that's toxic where the community can turn on you in a second. Yeah. You want to be good at what you do. So I try to make sure I don't do like rookie mistakes. Yeah, I mean, whatever's in right now, I play like any shooters and stuff like that. Like I don't have like a go-to favorite game though. That I don't play games as religiously as much. I play just to make sure I'm playing with my friends so we can talk once in a while.
Right. Do you remember what was the first system you had?
It was like a Sega, early Sega something. That's super fun. No, we did have like the original Nintendo. I don't remember which one came out first. It's so long ago. Like they're both fuzzy in my brain. But like I remember like playing Mario on that game though on Nintendo. It was just the controller was just so like rectangular and like
yeah.
But I've had like a system every. This is how you know I'm spoiled. Like my brothers and sisters would never have had this opportunity from my mom. I'm the last kid, so like they just said screw it. So like I had not almost every console, but like I had a Sega, a Nintendo, N64, Xbox, PlayStation. Like I've had them all, like the big names. So,
are you keeping up with the like? What do you have right now?
I have a PlayStation 4 right now, and it's cool. But I switched to PC, and my life's been different. PC masters. I've seen the light. I hate consoles now that I've committed to PCs. You
see, in my case, so I think the first thing I ever had might have been an SNES, playing Mario and stuff, and then at some point that broke. And then from then on, it was the only things I ever owned were PlayStations. And I was playing stuff like Tekken or Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, kind of more platformer kind of stuff. Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, stuff like that.
I had to. A lot of kids came over to my house and where I grew up in my neighborhood, so it was just always good to have the new console because it's not like it was being wasted on me.
Yes,
like,
I remember I was playing Rock Band at your house when I was like 13.
That was a common thing throughout my life. Like even like Halo came out, we would be playing Halo or Halo 2 at my house. We'd get multiple consoles and TVs and we'd go nuts, you know. So it sounds a little spoiled. Like I had every console, but like truly, like everyone would come over, we'd play, and it was well worth it. Like the memories we had. Yeah. Rock Band was nuts, man. Like,
and now look at me playing actual instruments. I at some point I kind of fell off the wagon with video games when I was like 14, 15, because for some reason I had a PlayStation 3 that was shared between my brother and I, and he mostly bought like Call of Duty games and whatever. I'm just like, I don't think I like playing with other people all that much.
I was going to say the only reason I stuck with it is because I'm playing with other people.
And especially not like first person shooters. They just, I don't know, they give me a headache.
No, I get that.
And because of that, I feel like I'm not being productive if I'm playing video games for some reason.
You're not. And let me tell you something. Being a freelancer, like no one's in charge of me. There's no boss. It's just myself. And if I treated my work week like a 9 to 5, like every other person in the world, I could accomplish so many things. Let's say I spend like that 9 to 5 that people are working, I spend like hours of that playing games. Yeah. I could be doing emails, looking up like gigs, like, yeah, it's
bringing home the bacon.
Yes. You know what I mean? But like, games, it's a slippery slope where like time flies by and nothing gets done.
Now, I will play video games so rarely often. It's like every once in a while I'm just like, I feel like playing for a little bit, but then it's like maybe only for half an hour or an hour, because then I'll eventually get a headache. And during that, I'll tend to play something that doesn't require a lot of me paying attention, or make it be like a mindless repetitive task. And like I'll turn the sound off and I'll listen to podcasts or records while I'm playing. So I feel like I'm multitasking, I'm accomplishing more things, because one of the things I'm involved in isn't exactly productive.
Like I'm playing a game and they have daily objectives, and let's say I spend the time to do it. It is nothing for my real life. Like truly, right? Like I'll sit there and be like, yeah, it's done. And now look, it's been like 4 hours. I'm like I could have done, who knows what I could have got done during that time. I just enjoy it. It's cathartic. I like to get my mind off something else. I like the competitiveness of competitive games. Like I said, I like socializing with my friends on there. There's a lot of friends I can't see. Like there's like, let's say like my friends are in Boston and I'm here in Connecticut. Like I can't always see them. I can call them up, but there's something about being able to talk to them and also play a game together. Right. It's almost like we're doing something, just not like in person, you know?
Right,
so,
right. Yeah, I had, most of the games I played rarely now, they're like single player things like Uncharted, Assassin's Creed, that kind of stuff. And because I don't really like other people, it's like back when I was gaming, it was like me time to be by myself, to engage in this, in what is ultimately a story that happens to be a video game.
I think I love video games because like if you get a game with a good story, it's like you.
But then I ignore the story because I'm just listening to podcasts.
No, but
playing this game for the 5th time.
When there's a good story and it's a game and it's a good story, that's the best, because it's like it's so much. It's not better than reading or watching a movie, but it's like you're way more immersed.
Yeah.
And you get to control your character's actions. You know what I mean? Like there's something about, as long as the story is legit. Like there's some games where the stories are so well written that like I feel guilty for not spreading the gospel of like, man, this story is awesome. Everyone has to play this game just to see the story of it. But obviously not every game's like that. But
yeah, I think the last real thing I played, which happened to be like actually a couple of weeks ago, was Portal and Portal 2. Have you played those?
I have played those.
And I think the only reason I played them was because my girlfriend and she wanted me to play Portal 2, so we can be on the co-op mode. And at one point I see the orange box on Steam. There's a sale. I can get all these games for like $5. And I was like, oh, okay. And I have to say I've only played Portal the portals.
Yeah, I mean, it's another thing. I buy games and I don't even touch them.
Just the other day, I uninstalled all my games because I'm like, well, or at least the ones of the few I did have installed. I'm like, I only played Portal, really. I was only invested in Portal, and if so, for a brief amount of time. And Portal doesn't exactly have a lot of replay value because
right.
You solve the puzzles, you play the game once, and you're done. I mean, I guess you could if you wanted to just solve the puzzles again, but I was like, yeah, I guess this is done. I played the single player campaign, and my girlfriend and I played the co-op campaign, and I was like, yeah, it's done.
That's no different than watching a movie that you are only intending to watch once.
I suppose.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can literally I can equate games to movies. Like, there's just some games that you want to are mindless, like mindless action shooters that you just play, versus like mindless movies you just kind of watch for entertainment value, and ones that have like deeper content that you resonate with. But honestly, like I'm super into games and all this stuff. Like, I'm into anime and games still, and I love that culture. And like, like I don't think I ever like I went to PAX East. PAX East is yeah. And I was just like, this is great, man. Like, I'm glad I still play games because I can like relate and have fun with all these people and stuff like that still. But I don't know if there's an age cutoff to that, but it hasn't like bothered me.
I don't think there is.
Yeah, there's so many better things you could do than playing games though. I'm not even kidding.
Sometimes I get rid of the games altogether, and I'll just like I'll listen to like music or podcasts while I'm like practicing guitar or something like that. Because then I'll feel like I'm being double productive.
That's why I don't like reading, because I feel like I'm not being productive.
What do you mean?
Because I'm sitting down reading and like I'm not doing anything. Where at least a podcast you can listen and do something.
Right.
But
in my case, it's I would love to read more.
Right.
I need to.
No, I agree. So do I.
I need to in order to like graduate with an English degree, and but it's just like my consciousness is so splintered. My attention span is almost nothing, and I find I can't really physically read something. It's rather difficult. It's just I can't. My brain is so not where it should be, and to the point where I listen to audiobooks, a lot of audiobooks, because it's like a podcast. I put it on, I listen to it. It's a passive activity. It kind of sinks into my brain, and I can do other stuff while I'm listening to it.
Yeah.
Especially since I'm commuting to the university. It's like a 45-minute drive. So I spend a lot of that time listening to like whatever I was assigned to read.
That's one thing I miss is like commuting somewhere, because I really don't find time to even listen to podcasts that much. Like, because it's like, you know, podcasts work the best, I think, when you got something like driving. Like, podcasts while driving is like the greatest thing on earth. But like, I don't drive that much anymore unless it's for a long gig. So, yeah, man, it's those moments I don't have, but I'll sit there and watch videos all day. I don't know if it's because like I feel like something's happening visually that I feel like it's more rewarding or whatever, but
right.
I think just sitting there and listening to a podcast would make me feel like I'm doing nothing. Does that make sense?
Wait, what was that?
Like if I just sat there and listened to a podcast, it'd be like me reading a book where I feel like nothing's happening around me.
I think I might have done that a few times, but I think that was more common when I was younger, and I would spend a lot of time just listening to records.
Right.
Like literally just sitting in a room and listening to records. I was going to
bring it up. Like, I don't think I've ever sat and listened to music. Just listened to music in a long time. I always have music playing when I'm doing something. So I never really absorb it all in. So
that was back when I was like 13 and didn't have anything to do.
No, I get it. But like even now, do you listen to music now and just like sit there and listen to it?
Not so much often, because I feel like I have so many other things I have to take care of.
It's weird. It's just kind of weird. Like not.
Yeah,
I feel like no one actually listens to music like they used to.
Just sitting there and listening. Yeah,
like me time, just listening to music.
Back when I was younger, I found it preposterous that even like there were some people who were friends of mine who were musicians and like they never sat around and listened to records. Apparently they never done that. It was always put music on while you're doing something else.
No, sometimes, especially when you do a craft, like you got to sit there and like appreciate the thing that you're doing that someone else did. You know what I mean? Even like for movies, like there's some movies I'll sit down. I really have to focus and watch, or YouTube videos that are like actual well-made productions, and appreciate what's going on there, because it just helps you with your day to day and like inspirations and like and stuff like that. I don't know if that makes sense, but
I suppose.
Like if you're doing something, like if you are a musician, you should listen to music. You should really sit there and listen to it.
Yeah.
Something so you can understand it and really break it down in your head why you like it and stuff like that, you know? Yeah. You can't get that from just like listening to it.
Like listening passively.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Do you ever find... Oh, well, I guess you don't watch that many movies.
I mean...
Because you're...
I can like tell you like what are the top 100 movies. I know what I like, but like, I mean, I watch a ton of movies.
Okay.
I do. I love the movies. I love going to theaters. I love everything about movies.
Because I had this thing where you see all those boxes of Blu-rays over there?
Right.
I haven't watched like half of them, even though I bought them because I wanted them. And I think the reason for that is because when I'm at home trying to watch a movie, I feel so it's convenient to like, I can just pause this, go and do something else, come back to it, and like I can look at my phone and whatever.
Right.
I feel like the more times I'm interrupted by myself watching this movie, the less I'm going to enjoy it, because it's like that's that many blips into me having my eyes stare at the screen.
It's like a break in immersion.
Yeah.
Of what's going on there.
And I spend most of the movies I see nowadays are in the theaters, because it's like when you go to see a movie at the cinema, it's you decided, you made plans to do this, you put on pants, you left the house, drove there, and then and the reason for going there is to sit there and watch the movie, and then I enjoy it more.
I love going to the movies. If I don't watch a movie in the theaters, I may not watch it. So when I say I watch movies, it means I literally try to watch what I can in theaters.
Right.
Yeah, dude, the large screen, the dark room. I love movies where there's crowds of people. Like I just am a huge socializer, so I love like the energy of rooms and people and stuff like that. So
yeah.
When I hear people react to movies, I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. Like it makes me like feel good about whatever's happening. But yeah, dude, I have no problem going to the movies by myself and just watching it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it does. It like amplifies your experience so much more.
Yeah.
I don't mind binge watching TV at my house. That feels right. But watching a movie at my house feels weird.
What was the last thing you saw in theaters?
Godzilla. And Detective Pikachu, man. And here's the thing. I saw Detective Pikachu and I enjoyed it. If I saw it at home, I wouldn't care about that movie at all.
I didn't. There were some of it I liked.
Yeah, I mean, for what it is. I was better than what I was expecting.
My girlfriend liked it more than I did.
And I was like, dude, it's like just shy of going dark. I'm like, just step over the line and bring this movie into like extreme violence. But it didn't go there. I was
good. The last thing I saw was Late Night. There was a movie called Late Night yesterday. Do you know? Have you heard of it?
It sounds kind of familiar. It's in theaters? Or?
Yeah. It's a new movie. The Indian girl from The Office, Mindy Kaling.
Right.
She played Kelly Kapoor in The Office. She's a writer-producer on that movie. And she co-stars opposite Emma Thompson. Emma Thompson is like a late-night talk show host.
Right.
And like, oh, your ratings are down. We're going to replace you. You need to like get your shit together. And she hires Mindy Kaling as a writer on her show to fit a diversity quota. And it was good. I thought it was good. It was funny.
I don't recognize that title, so
it's so vague.
I was gonna feel like I feel like the promotion for that must have not been super.
No, in fact, it stopped. I think it stops playing in the theater we frequent today.
Really?
Yeah. Which is why I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, I guess the last movie I saw was Godzilla. There's a bunch of movies I want to see. I haven't yet, but like, when I have time, I'm going to try to bust as many as I can.
You say you like going to theaters and having a lot of people in the audience to get to feel part of the audience.
Right.
But in my case, it's like I don't like other people. So I go to like matinees in the middle of the day, like maybe a week or two out from the release date. And then it's also like a small independent film. So there's not much of anyone in the theater anyway. And I find I have a good time.
Yeah. When I'm alone, I can really feel like really enjoy it, like really taste the movie. Right. Yeah. Also, just going to movies with friends or like a girlfriend is just it's like a nice thing because then you talk about it afterwards.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, like my favorite movie in the past couple of months is Booksmart. It's Olivia Wilde making her directorial debut.
Oh, interesting.
And it stars Beanie Feldstein, who is Jonah Hill's sister, and Caitlin Dever. Caitlin Dever.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
And it was hilarious. My girlfriend and I were the only two people in that auditorium, but I laughed my head off.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
No, that's... Another thing is, like, movies are expensive.
Yeah, it's getting expensive.
So when Movie Pass was out, I used that thing like crazy.
I have it now.
Is it worth it now still? Like, do they limit you now? I know like they changed things up a little bit. But.
I got it. I started using Movie Pass right before they like overhauled their model.
You got grandfathered in?
No.
Oh. Or what?
No, it was so I got it. I was like, see a movie a day forever. Oh yeah. And then a month after I got it, it was like, we're moving it down to 3 movies from the select list that's put up every week. I'm like, oh, shit. And I thought, I'm still only paying like $10 a month, so I guess it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I keep looking at the list. It's like the same movies week after week, and like maybe one in there of this one independent movie I might want to see, and then it's like the app might not work a quarter of the time.
I know.
And then it started getting better because even it wasn't the movies available to me were more catered to like whatever was playing in my local theaters. Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't reflecting like the official list they put up week after week. I'm like, oh, this is better. Yes. And then it went back to shit.
Yeah. And dude, they were martyrs for what they did. Yeah.
I still have it though. They're taking my money.
I miss it. So if there was an AMC near us, I would totally do the AMC.
Oh, there was.
Thing. Oh yeah, there was.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
In Torrington, but now it's Apple Cinemas.
I would have signed up for the AMC thing because theirs is legit. Theirs is totally worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about Apple Cinemas is they have a deal going on since they renovated the Torrington Theater. Mm-hmm. So they all got recliner seats now. But every Sunday,
they finally put recliners in there
everywhere.
Oh,
yeah, dude. And I like the Winston Theater. Like it was a nice, comfortable like the recliners.
You mean Barkhamsted?
Barkhamsted.
Yeah.
Winston, yeah, whatever.
Apple Cinemas. Sponsored by Apple Cinemas. Barkhamsted. Not really.
So yeah, Torrington has it now, but in honor of that, they're doing $5 movie tickets every Sunday until October 30th.
For real?
All day, every day. Yeah, dude, I just shared on Facebook. So I was like, dude, this is perfect. I'm going to watch a movie.
Man,
I watched 3 movies for $15.
Dude, I remember back when it was only a few years ago, I could get a matinee ticket at Barkhamsted for $6.
No, they're still pretty cheap.
Yeah, but it's still like inflation.
It's the food, man. That will. When I watch a movie, like I need a snack. I need a snack on something.
You fatty.
I need to like chew on some popcorn or some Swedish fish. Or the experience is not complete.
Dude, I eat before I go.
It's not the same, man. I'll eat a full course meal, and if I'm sitting at a theater, I need to hold a snack.
You need You have an oral fixation. Yeah. You need something to put in your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Or the experience is just unfulfilling. It's not the same. So those things cost like a bottle of water is like $5. It's like what the fuck?
Yeah.
I used to work at a movie theater.
The only time I ever got something was a bag of popcorn because they were offering free bags of popcorn if you like used the self-serve kiosk to buy your ticket or something.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I don't know. I wish more people went to the movies. I try to get as many people as I can to go because it's just a good time.
Yeah, I remember back when I I think our only real time when we and a bunch of friends got together to see a movie was we went to see Kingsman: The Golden Circle.
I don't even remember. That's all fuzzy to me. I thought I watched that in Boston. When did that come
out? 2017.
Okay.
Summer of 2017, I think.
Oh, no, it's coming back. No, yeah, I remember.
It was just, the second Kingsman movie. Yeah. Which, did you like it? Do you remember liking it?
I remember when it was finished, I was like, all right. I didn't hate it. The thing, I never really hate anything. Like,
did you see the first one?
I did.
I have it over there. I think it's fantastic.
I love the first one.
But then the second one was...
it was... I can tell what was being genuine or what was just a cop-out. You know what I mean?
How do you mean?
Like, just like using certain actors or what happened story-wise or whatever. Like, I don't know if it's... I know it's based off like a comic or graphic novel. So I don't know if it's following anything or if it's going on its own route. But if it's going on its own route, it just... Something about it felt cheaper than the first one. Yeah. Yeah.
Especially... him actually getting together with that Swedish princess.
Yeah, what the hell?
I thought that was just like, a princess to save at the end of the first movie.
Agree. And then the people they killed off, they killed off his like female friend agent.
Oh, she was barely in that shit.
I know, but then she just gets blown up.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell was the point of building her up in the first movie?
Yeah, and then they killed off Mark Strong.
Yeah, dude.
While he was singing "Take Me Home, Country Roads" by John Denver.
Like, I love the wonky like villains they have.
Yeah, and Samuel L. Jackson in the first movie, his objective was actually like I thought about like, actually that's not quite a bad thing.
No, yeah. Have you seen Kick-Ass?
I have not.
Same director.
Yeah, Matthew Vaughn.
I love Kick-Ass, and people like it's truly. I don't know why. I love it because it's just like this teen spirit type of thing going on. Whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like one of my top 10 favorite movies.
Oh, really?
Because like the soundtrack is dope. It's just I don't know what it was about it, and maybe how it like kind of parodies like superheroes or whatever. But that's what made me love Kingsman. I kind of felt like the similarities there,
right?
And then Kingsman 2 did not feel the same at all. No. So,
but I'll tell you this: my favorite movie by Matthew Vaughn is Stardust.
I saw that, and I wasn't crazy about it. But I like it, and I feel like I like it because he made it. Yeah. I'm not sure if I really like it.
No, I really like it because it's based upon a Neil Gaiman novel, and it was Neil Gaiman trying. It was his way of trying to write a novel that's in the vein of pre Lord of the Rings, pre Tolkien fantasy. It's just a very classic kind of English fairy tale, and I think he did a really good job, and Matthew Vaughn did a great job adapting it.
I feel like if I had a better fleshed out idea of lore, maybe I'd be more...
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like the movie's kind of like fuzzy to me. I just remember I wasn't like crazy. Like I liked it.
Because you thought it was Princess Bride Light.
Kind of. Yeah. There's something about it. But like I didn't hate it, man. And a movie like that is so like unique on its own. Like
Bob De Niro as a gay pirate.
Yeah, dude. This is all coming back. Like the movies like that are like a little ambitious, and they, that takes some effort, man. Yeah.
All right, I guess we're done.
That was great. What did you and Phoebe talk about?
Photography, stuff like that. She's getting married.
Yeah, at the shooter wedding.
No. That makes sense.